Hello everyone, today it's July 3rd, we're almost ready for Independence Day. There was something I wanted to show you. So there was a sign that said, "No loitering, violators will be prosecuted." And how you see that there's no statute next to it. That's just a policy. Anytime when you see a sign like this and you're on a public sidewalk right here and you see a sign right here, basically that's a policy. The policy of the company that puts it up ends right at this line right here. This only applies for when you are inside in their property. Then if you have no purpose and you're just standing around doing nothing idly, which is the definition of loitering, then there is grounds for trespassing and things like that. I did want to tell you that the reason why loitering laws exist in public areas is essentially when there was people who would commit other potential crimes in tandem in public property, which is why a lot of cities historically, like Chicago, New York, they would have these no loitering laws to deter criminal activity. Historically, it was like things like prostitution, gambling, drinking, being intoxicated in public, selling drugs. Those were activities that could or are not enforced in certain cities. So in order to get caught with the no loitering law, trespass essentially is if you have to commit at least one of those crimes in a public setting to be charged with the loitering law at 2 hard sticks in court. Now, if you are doing what I'm doing, which is recording, taking video pictures on public property, you're exercising your First Amendment right, which is constitutionally protected because it's a civil liberty, not a civil right, but a civil liberty, which people get confused. A good example, Stuck Electric right here, when I was here for a long time, at least 20 years, they never had a fence up here. And if you see right here, you see where it says private property, no trespassing, no skateboarding, no biking, no roller skating. Oh yeah, there's no loitering. You see there's a code right there. So that is enforceable because that would be within public property. But this sign, those signs were there because there was no gate. So people would try and come in and they would cross from here to here onto their property, which by definition, anytime that you go onto, let's say, a private property, then and you have no legitimate business with Stuck Electric in this case, then that would be potential loitering and trespassing laws that were violated. But because unfortunately it's not held up much in court because it's very small, it's a misdemeanor offense, hardly ever punishable. So it would make sense they put up a gate here to keep people out. But as I said, there are subjects right there. There's citations, things like that. Then yes, that is grounds for loitering. But so legally, I can record anything from a public standpoint and be legal, regardless if someone comes up to me and tries to say, "What are you doing? You can't do that." Well, technically speaking, the moment they approach me and to inquire, there's also a possibility they could raise their voice, they could cause panic, alarm from somebody who is doing something that's constitutionally protected. Yeah, it may be different, but different doesn't mean suspicious. Suspicious is if you're doing an act that can and is illegal. But if you're recording from a public standpoint, it is protected activity because it's freedom of expression and freedom of the press potentially, because the Supreme Court did lay down that any time even a private citizen gets those same rights as press, because we are documenting and reporting things to bring public awareness to our fellow community members and our fellow citizens, which protects our right to do that. And remember how the Stock Electric was inside the property because it's private property. And you can see right here that from a public standpoint, it says no loitering right here. It doesn't apply to people with First Amendment protected activities, because the law states that as long as I do not go onto their premises and record without their permission, because it's privately owned, and as long as I'm not recording things that I'm not supposed to see, such as people in a back room that's closed off where you can't see, where there is an expectation of privacy. Another one would be as if I'm catching someone in the restroom, then that is grounds for violating privacy, because there is expectation of privacy if you're in the restroom. Those are places that they expect privacy. But if you're in the public, you can record anything and anybody, because there is no law against trespass eyes, because you can't trespass the eyes, because there is no expectation of privacy when you're in public. But I did want to clarify that. I know I did a quick recording before I put the one up on YouTube, and they did not have a no loitering sign. And my guess and suspicion is they saw me recording one time doing a little documentary, and they put a no loitering sign in an attempt to deter people like me who want to record publicly and for people who embrace public photography, but we're not being intrusive to people. But you can only do so much, especially if you own a business and you put up a no loitering sign trying to enforce the no loitering laws on a public sidewalk when you're doing something that's constitutionally protected. So good luck with that. I figured I'd let you know.